first presenting Gina Munger from Gina Munger Photography. Thank you.
I'm used to being behind the camera and not standing up and speaking to people. 1 year ago and 20 days ago, 1 year and 20 days ago, I retired from the city of Madisonville. I worked downtown for 39 years, and my love for the city of Madisonville and the buildings is a lot of the reason that I love photography and taking pictures of the buildings. Through loving the buildings in downtown Madisonville, I've got a series of cards called My Town Through My Eyes, and when I go to someone else's town and take the photos, I have a series called Your Town Through My Eyes. I have note cards for City of Madisonville, Princeton. I have done some for Memphis and for some friends. I'm currently working on a new project called Campus Life. This started with Darren Jordan wanting me to go to Western Kentucky University and take some photos. And since I've created that, I guess, collage for him, I've sold several of them, and tomorrow I'm going to UK and Transylvania, and I have a future visit to University of Florida, and I'm trying to think where else. See if there's another college that I'm going to. If you all have a favorite campus that you would like to send me to, say, hey, Gina, I'd like for you to go take pictures. I'd be glad to consider that. The hat. A lot of people know about the hat. And a lot of people have worn the hat because I was doing a photography club challenge in January of 2013. And I would ask ladies to wear the hat. I even had men ask me to wear the hat, and I totally refused to let them wear it. The hat's just for the ladies. The hat has now gotten to the point to where I have people ask me if they can wear the hat, which is really nice. And when I was doing the series on Facebook for that month, people got to where they were anxious to see who was going to wear the hat the next day. The Art League, I joined the Art League in 2013, and that opened a lot of doors for me. Suzanne Henley, she's the president. She said, Gina, we need to do some note cards. You know, we can do prints. And that, belonging to the Art League and doing the art hops and being downtown where people can see my work has really been a plus for people to see quality and that type of work I do. Projects I've done, in October I did a book cover. October 2012 I did a book cover, and right before I retired, the Veterans Center called me and said, will you come meet with us? We want to do some prints for the Veterans Center. And then the next thing I know, First United Bank calls and they said, Gina, we want some prints where we're getting ready to remodel. And I'm also currently working on a project for First United Bank. Hudson Toyota, they just put up a new timeline, and they could not give me, I guess, couldn't on the prints, they were timeline that couldn't give me credit, but they purchased the prints from me, and they said, Gina, we're going to make sure everybody knows that you were part of the timeline. I just finished up a project for a orthodontist office that's opening up in Russellville that I'm excited about, and I deliver those next week. And also, I do a lot. There's a book up here where I created the centerfold last year for the Historical Society. If it's someone that's kind of that like needs contributions or help that way, I love doing something to where I can take my artwork and help the society with their book. And I'm also getting ready to be on a Christmas ornament for the Historical Society of Hades in December. They'll be selling those at the Ham Festival. And I love photography. I guess besides the life and family, I love that right there. It's my best friend. And that's, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Talk about why you wanted to actually start a business with it.
Well, it started out as a hobby, and it just kind of accidentally has turned into a business. It started out as a hobby. I was putting my photos on Facebook, and people were liking them, and the next thing I know, people were wanting to know if they could purchase them. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is nice. And it also helped me, after working somewhere for 39 years, when you get ready to retire, that can be a big change. And it just worked out perfect. I was so busy when I was getting ready to retire with my photography, I just kind of walked out the door, and I've been busy ever since. It wasn't like I just went home and sat and didn't know what to do with myself. And also the photography, and I love Photoshop, and I spend hours watching videos and learning how to do things. And I belong to National Association of Photographers, and there's videos that I watch. And if I don't know how to do something, I will find a video and I will try to learn how to do it. And about anything you want me to do, I will try. So.
Okay, questions?
Yes.
Where do you sell your stuff? I need note cards now.
No, well, I have 2 sets today that I'm going to give away. So whoever wants to look at their other side of their business card, if you see an email address written on the back, or if it's a good set of. But I have those are up here for you all to take home. I have some extra note cards with me. Anything that if you want to purchase something, you can email me, you can call me. My business cards, my phone number is probably about the only thing on there that's correct. If you go to my website, it says under construction. Miriam just hasn't quite got me to where I've got her all the information that I need to get to her. But just call me. I've got note cards available. And then when I'm at Art Hop, we've got Art Hop coming up October 4th. I will be located at Maria Lee's Black Dog Fiber, and I'll have note cards available then also.
Gina, when you were talking about going to the different universities and taking pictures, are you being commissioned by people to do that, or are they just places you want to go and make
Well,
pictures?
I actually have been asked to go, I was asked to go to Western, and I've been asked to go to UK and Transylvania. And they asked me to go, but I don't charge them to go or anything, because I figure whatever I go and do, it's going to create something, and probably somebody else is going to want that print. Like with Darren, somebody saw his print, and I already sold 4 more. So I kind of handle it that way. I don't charge to go do that.
Then, but have you tried to do anything like with some group out of Western that might want to sell those as fundraising or something like that?
I have not. I know Darren said once Trish got hers up in her office, he figures people will see them and want them. And it has been suggested, Jenna, you might somehow want to let somebody at Western know, or even U of L know, once I haven't got U of L's created yet, that they might want to, purchase or want that. But one of the, can I say something without asking a question? One of the things that I think makes it so, that makes my work well is if somebody calls me and says, Jenna, I want you to come talk to me about a photo project like the bank. I take my computer with me, I take samples of the pictures with me. I have a USB that we can sit there and look at the pictures. I'm very personable. It's not like go on Fine Art America and look at my work. Now, if I take, and then if they call me and ask me about some other things, I might say, well, why don't you go to my Facebook page and look at my town through my eyes? Because I try to put things in albums, and but I think my personal contact, and that is why I've been successful, because I'm getting ready to make a delivery to Russellville next week and totally changed plans that I had, because I wanted to make sure they've got all their canvas prints by their opening day. And so I feel like that customer service, that personal, and like with the projects that I've done for First United Bank, they'll say, Jenna, can you take this out of the picture? Well, they have definitely given me some challenges, but I did it. I'm like, wow, I did that. I sometimes even amaze myself when I go and correct something or fix it.
Do you order the canvases for them? How do you do that?
I order the canvases for them, and then I have them delivered to me because I want to check them and I want to make sure they're right, because occasionally I will get a canvas and I have to call the company that I deal with and get them to, send me another one, because it might be photos or that type of thing. So I do have them all personally delivered to me, and then I personally deliver them. And then the prints, of course, are printed here locally. And of course, that's, when I get those, it's pretty much.
All the layering of photographs, like you've done, like with your family, the old photographs and then bringing the new in. How long did it take you to learn how to do that and acquire that skill?
I probably spent a year just practicing. I did a class online where I could watch it on my iPad and then sit there and constantly try. And I don't watch TV at night. I used to spend, when I worked 4 hours a night, probably playing with Photoshop, learning how to do things. And then now I just kind of play with it all day long. But one thing I did too, I found that my father, 2012 was a really hard year. I found out that I was going to lose my father. And I took that anxiety and I took all that, I guess, emotion, and I put it into going home and focusing on Photoshop and working with photos and something that I wanted to learn instead of just laying down and crying or whatever. I took that energy and I put it into something productive.
Gina, do you sell at the bookstores at these universities?
No, I've only done one, the Western Kentucky University print. It's on here somewhere. That's the only one that right now I have done. I've still got to complete, this is just a brand new series. But I would love to.
Have you approached the bookstores? I mean, I go to some of these colleges and I see the prints and stuff and what they get for them. And people are picking them up left and right, And your work is so beautiful.
Well, thank you.
How do you handle, or have you reached the level about copyright yet? Do you copyright any of these, or are you just hoping that somebody doesn't say, hey, here's a really nice picture, I think I can sell this, and now all of a sudden your picture's out everywhere that you didn't sell?
Well, I try to put like a copyright symbol and Gina Munger photography on that, but I have had an issue this year where I've got 2 pictures that have popped up somewhere that were without my permission, but they said someone else sent it to them. But then one of them, they can't tell me how they got it, and I haven't quite known how to handle it, so I'm just kind of set back. And then plus, everybody that sees them thinks I did the job anyway, so I'm like, well. And then I had somebody else tell me the other day that they saw them and said, Gina, did you do that? And I said, no, I didn't do that, but they copied my style. And they said, well, I wasn't sure it was yours because it wasn't as nice. So I thought, well, that's all.
Well, I guess my question then is have you reached a level to where it would be worth contacting an attorney for some advice about this? Because it sounds like that problem's only going to grow.
Right, and it might be, and that's probably something I need to do. And I know you can take prints and you can register. I mean, I know on Photoshop there's a class that I watched where it tells you how to copyright them, and you can copyright them like in the ones I just did for Russellville. I can actually copyright them in a group, and it won't cost me as much. But when you do a lot of the copyright stuff, it's expensive. But if you can do it like in 100 photos at once and that type of thing. But that is something I'm probably going to have to get serious about checking too.
Now, I'm assuming, because I looked at your stuff on Facebook and you do an amazing job, my new favorite is the truck. I just think the truck's cool. But I know that whenever you put it on Facebook, the DPI and the resolution of them is a lot less. You can't use them in a real printable piece based on that. So you can actually use a bigger watermark on the middle of it, just a light watermark, and that will take care of your issue if they can Photoshop all that out. So that'd be one option for you to copyright it without, and you can still see the beauty of the prints.
Right. I know the ones that you'll see some on there, I have it at the bottom, I
Yeah.
think.
If you put a big G in the middle of it, just a real faded one, where it's just very, very light proof, kind of a look to it.
It would be hard for them
It'd be
to.
very hard for them to offset it.
Okay.
So that may not change one. We'll talk about that later.
But I know one thing I do is I lower the resolution, but before I even post them to Facebook, I do them at a 72. And then and I've even one day at the office when I was working, I needed a print balloon, I tried to print it, and I'm like, well, man, it's my print, and it looks like, I can't even print it and make it come out good off Facebook. So that made me feel good.
What's the biggest canvas size you can do with the pictures that you take, like in landscapes and stuff?
30 by 40. And then 30 by 40, and I can create, I have created, in fact, I did for First United, I created a 90 by 40.
Okay.
And then I did it in sections. And then we had it printed in 3 different canvas prints. And it can either be put together or it can be like spaced. But matter of fact, it's this one right here, matter of fact. But it's actually, it's a 3-piece. But I know there's other places you can get like bigger and do that, but I haven't.
I thought the resolution issued it was just a vendor.
No, well, yes, right now it's just a vendor.
Okay.
It's just a vendor.
What kind of pricing do you have on your canvases? I guess that would be next.
The 30 by 40s are $250. But now if I have a special that comes available to me, you know, and it's a big project, I have been known to pass it on to the client.
We have some of Jenna's prints, pictures at Hudson, and I promise, we got permission.
She said that before you got
Oh,
here.
okay. Naturally.
We have hers for the 1 million cups, the top screen thing, that her pictures when we use for the website.
And all of our prints at First United, the North Side office, we have the 3 section that she's talking about, if you want to come by and check it out.
They're beautiful.
Is there?
I work in this really beautiful building with Marion, and we're always looking for people to put their work in our building because we can't afford artwork right now because we're too busy working. If you would ever like to come do a show or just post your work there for us to let people see it, we get a lot of traffic.
Okay.
That's more than half the building, so
I
that's good.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about teaching classes, whether it be to adults or youth or anything like that? And the second question is, once you left your job and you kind of used it as a hobby, how did you get yourself into marketing your, I mean, I know you said you posted and a lot of people liked it, but going further than that.
Well, the first, when I got the Veterans Center, when the Veterans Center contacted me, it was actually through a friend. It was like, Mark Lee said, Gina, you know, I have a friend at the Veterans Center and they're wanting to look at some prints for the center. And, you know, it was just, and I went and met with her and it just, you know, it was kind of like, oh, wow. And then First United Bank, they contacted me about prints and they were going to redo the north side. So it just, I mean, it just kind of happened. You know, if I was tickled, I mean, I've just been amazed. I pinched myself, you know, it's just, I can't believe this is really happening. And speaking about First United Bank, I actually have an art gallery going down, I think. I tell them between the branch on the north side, and they're redoing a soft model, having a soft model at the one downtown. I told them yesterday, I said, I'm going to have my own gallery. Just come in the bank and look at my prints, so. But and teaching, you know, I've had somebody else ask me that, and it's probably something I could do because I love showing somebody how to do it and showing them how I started and all that stuff. But it's probably something, you know, that I would be willing to try, especially for children or something like that.
What's next on your planning agenda?
Well, I've got Campus Life Series I'm starting, which I've only done one college, and I'm going tomorrow to 2. And then I'm also got a personal thing where I just posted some pictures last night. My dad was West Area minister for 30-something years, and I have wanted to go get pictures of all the churches in the West Area. And currently, all the pictures that I have gotten, I'm emailing to Gloria at the West Area office, and she is going in and they're changing the picture that's there on the website to mine. And you know, so I don't know. You know, it's kind of right now. That's all that's in the works.
What do you want to go, as far as growth, what do you want to go next?
I just like taking pictures and people wanting them hanging their buildings. I remember thinking when I got into this, I thought, okay, the biggest, neatest thing would be to hang at the Gleamer Center. Well, I actually got to, with Maria Lee, Susan Hendon, and Sarah, I think Sarah's last name. We had a collectively independent, and we actually got to hang it. And you know, at one time I thought, I want to just hang at the Gleamer Center. And then it's like, oh, people want to buy my prints and they want to hang them in their office. And I'm like, you know, I'm excited about all this, I'm loving it, but I take each day as it gets here, and, you know, just hope people keep liking my prints.
Well, Gina, one of the things that when I worked with you and also that I'm hearing today, I mean, you had such a passion for what you were doing. And believe me, I mean, Gina spends a lot of time when she's working on a project, which she did with me. And you can just tell, not from the results, but you can just tell when you work with you and when you talk with you, this, I mean, it's turning into a business, but it was a passion that you had in the beginning. And of course, now that you're as good as you are and everybody's loving it, I mean, it is being turned into a business. You didn't start out to be a business, I don't think. But anyway, and now, of course, depending on how you run your business, I mean, as to whether it's going to remain just a passion or whether you're going to eventually want to put a business model together and actually say, okay, this is my business and I'm going to do this and this and this. Because I can tell you she works too cheap. I can just tell you, she works too cheap. And, but anyway, but what I find with the most successful people that I've talked to is they have a passion. It is a passion, whether it's a hobby or whether it's a business, and you certainly have it for both. So
Thank you. I love taking pictures of people and making them feel good, and I like to make everybody, you know, everybody's beautiful. And when someone comes like Sharon, if she has time, I mean, after we take the pictures, we'll go down to my office and we'll actually look at the pictures. And I will sit there with her and we'll talk about the ones that she likes and does not like. And it's still, I think it goes back to that extra personal attention that I give to the project.
Are you having trouble prioritizing your time?
You know, I don't know how it worked. And my husband's like, he retired too, and he's like, well, where are you going today? What are you doing today? And I'm like, well, I actually don't have to go anywhere today. You know, he actually has to schedule time with me.
What is your favorite thing to take pictures of? Would it be structures, buildings? Is it actually people?
I've been trying to narrow it down because they say, you know, you can't do everything. And, you know, you need to kind of decide. I love buildings, just absolutely love buildings and landscapes. But then I also like doing the portraits. I've done some children lately, and I enjoy doing the children more just letting them be themselves. And, you know, maybe trying to pose them, but if they didn't want to be serious, you know, it's okay. I've done some families, but I really like the portraits and like maybe I did the city council not too long ago. I did the board of directors for First United Bank yesterday. You know, so I'm leaning more towards portraits and I guess groups. And then, of course, I love my buildings and my landscapes. And I like that you see here. I love that. And I like doing, like the Veterans Memorial, I love doing stuff that brings on an emotion. You know, catching a moment and there's an emotion there.
I have one more question for you. Are you finding time to handle the business in, or are you being?
I need a manager. and mainly I need a manager because I have a tendency, like Sharon says, like she doesn't charge enough. Well, you know, I want to be fair and don't really, you know, but there's times I feel like, you know, let me be creative, let me go take the pictures and somebody else like manage me. You know, I get my sales and use tax done right. Of course, I'm city treasurer for 31 years, so I know how to do a lot of that stuff. But it's really, I don't want to do that stuff. I really just want to create and somebody else take care of that. But I haven't gotten to the point that I'm big enough. You know, my bank account's still real small, so you know, I'm doing it myself. But someday it would be nice to be big enough to be able to hire somebody and say, take care of this for me.
Well, we thank you very much. We learned a great